Welcome to Siri on the Street, Bug Edition. I'm Sadie on the Street, your host of Siri on the Street, Sadie Bug today. Today we're going to be asking students what they know about millipedes. Let's go. So imagine a pound of bugs. A pound. Yeah. How many millipedes do you think could fit into a pound? Just throw a number out there.
Around 230?
230, okay.
I'd say about like 120.
120?
180.
Oh, 180. On the dot. I got 180 written down right there. 180 American millipedes. That's insane. Okay, millipede expert over here.
How many legs does a millipede have?
Oh god.
It's not what you think.
A lot of legs.
How many are we talking?
I don't know. 30 to 400.
30 to 400. How does she know?
What color is millipede poop? It's not what you think. It's probably something strange, like yellow. I wish. Purple. Isn't that crazy? Final question, would you rather fight one human-sized millipede or 1,000 millipede-sized humans?
One human-sized millipede.
How would you do that?
Go for the legs.
Ooh, just like stomp on them? That's pretty good.
Yup. I need to learn more bug facts.
You do. You know where you can learn more bug facts?
Where?
The Siri live stream where we're gonna have millipedes. Check us out.
I will.
Boy, is this ladybug tired from flying all over the street. I'll see you guys next week with Siri on the Street. With Siri, student engagement, research, and innovation. Bye.
Thank you, Sadie on the Street. I'm still Sadie, but now I'm in the studio. And today I have the greatest pleasure of speaking with the graduate teaching assistant from the Department of Integrative Biology, Anne Sawl. Hi.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. And our other guests, the millipedes. So, you are one of the many people studying and researching at USF St. Pete. Could you give us a brief overview on what your research is about?
Absolutely. So I'm studying one of Florida's critically imperiled millipede species. Their scientific name is Floridabolus penneri, but they're more commonly known as the Florida scrub millipede. And they are understudied. There's not much known about them. And so what I looked into for my master's research was trying to gather a little bit more information on their dietary preferences, behavior, whether or not they were in competition with another species of millipede that's found in the same region that they're found, and with the largest goal to try to get them to reproduce, because we don't know anything about their reproduction.
That's so interesting. So you're trying to figure out the reproduction, how
Yes.
they do that.
Yeah.
That's great. And so there are plenty of different species of millipedes in Florida. What makes these different?
That's a great question. So it kind of goes back to their evolutionary history. So they're found in a very specific part of Florida. This is one of Florida's endemic species of millipede, where they're found on Lake Wills Ridge, one of the ridge systems. And way back when, millions of years ago, sand was slowly chipped away from the Appalachian Mountains, and it was brought to Florida through a series of rivers and streams. And then over geologic time, as sea levels rose and fell, that pushed the sand towards the center part of Florida, and that created a series of horizontal dune systems. And when sea levels were at their highest, Lake Wills Ridge, which is the ridge system that these millipedes are found on, was allowed to be isolated, and the species, plants and animals, were allowed to speciate. And so one of them is the Florida scrub millipede, and a good majority of the species that are found on the ridge system are endemic because of that. So that's what makes them special.
That is so cool. How did you come up with this research topic?
A little bit of help with my advisor. Prior to meeting her, I was a zookeeper, and one of the animals that I worked with was giant African millipedes. And when I met her, I told her that I was interested in them. I didn't know much about them, but I did know that they're kind of a black hole of information. There's a lot of stuff that we could learn about them. And we kind of got to talking, and kind of fell into it and became more interested in the species specifically as time went on.
Oh, I think he's biting me a little bit.
That's a good luck charm.
Okay, cool.
That means you smell like dead plants, maybe.
Oh, lovely. Do you remember the first time you held one?
Yeah, well, of this species, we weren't sure exactly.
Ow. What are you doing? Yes.
So we were doing field work, and we weren't really sure how to find them because the person who was had done prior research on them, his name was Mark Darup. He was the entomologist at Archibald Biological Station. He gave us a couple of tricks, but we hadn't seen one yet, and so we were doing field work, and it was during the summer, which is the rainy season, and it was pouring down rain, and I remember we were kind of ready to give up for the day. We weren't sure if we would find them, and we were digging through the soil, and with one scoop, they kind of like popped out like candy from the ground, and I wasn't sure if it was the species, but then a couple of other people took a close look, and we were like, okay, I think this is the Florida scrub millipede. And it was an awesome experience, even though it was pouring down rain.
That's amazing. I would love to have that kind of experience. So what do millipedes do for the environment? Like, what's their role?
That's a great question. They play an incredible role in nutrient cycling. So the reason why I commented on dead plants earlier is most species are considered detritivores, which means that they consume decaying plant matter or organic matter. And so what happens is the millipedes, they'll come out at night and they'll forage on the decaying leaves that have fallen to the ground. And all that lovely stuff moves through their system, and their excrements help fertilize the living plants. And so they're really important for decomposition and nutrient cycling.
I mean, I am a vegetarian, so maybe he can tell that. So we were talking about where they live and how they came to be there. Have the millipedes been affected by habitat loss in Florida?
Oh, definitely. So not only is that region of Florida
No,
that's okay. They have a tough exoskeleton, and so they're pretty hardy. And you get to see a really cool defense mechanism. So they have a pretty soft underbelly, and so how they protect themselves is they'll coil to protect their underbelly, and once they feel like they're okay, which he's feeling like he's okay now, they'll uncoil and continue to move about their environment.
I'm sorry, buddy. Habitat loss.
Yes, habitat loss. So fast forward to pre-settlement in that region. Since pre-settlement, that area has lost upwards of 85 to 90% of its habitat.
Oh, wow.
Mostly due to us. We love to grow our oranges in that region. There's been a lot of housing developments, agricultural developments, and because of that, their habitat is heavily fragmented. And these millipedes and a lot of the other species that are found in those communities are having to live in pockets of remnant scrub and sandhill communities. And so, yeah, they've definitely faced a lot of effect from humans.
Directly from human activity.
Yeah.
Is there anything we can do as students or, the everyday person to help out the millipedes?
Yeah, the biggest thing, especially with this species, is just becoming educated. We are seeing that this species is understudied, and there are 2 other members of the species of millipede in the same genus that are also facing similar habitat loss, and they're also understudied. So I think one of the best ways to help preserve their populations is to understand what they need, and to do that is to become a little bit more educated about them.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you are getting to educate all of us today. Finally, is there any misconception about millipedes that you'd like to squash right now?
So One really common misconception is that millipede means 1,000 foot, and most millipedes actually, as we know of now, all but one species doesn't have 1,000 feet. Most species have anywhere between 300 to 500 legs, and there's only one species that we know of. Its scientific name is Millipedes persephone. Millipes meaning true millipede, Persephone after Persephone, because they were found really deep underground. And they have just over 1,300 legs, but that's the only one that we know of. But
How
most of
long
them-
are they? Like,
Pretty long.
I'd imagine. Oh my gosh.
It's okay. They're pretty long. If you look at photos of them, they kind of look like a parasite, but
Oh.
there's a researcher who was able to do the genetics and found out that it was a millipede and learned a little bit more about them, which is pretty cool.
That is so cool. Well, thank you for coming on today and teaching us about these wonderful little
Yeah,
creatures.
thanks for having me.
Of
and them.
course. And them, of course.
Yes.
Well, thank you guys.